Okay, so let's talk about the Kayn nerfs. First things first, let's just go over everything on the patch review. First things first, Serpent is getting 6 lethality taken off. Yumu's is getting 100 gold cheaper, 5 less damage, but 15 ability haste added on, which is huge. Blue Kayn is missing out on his bonus magic damage on his passive. Now, a lot of people, they don't really understand how his passive works in the first place. So, essentially, per level, you go up scaling percentage. Bonus magic damage, 14% is being taken away. A lot of people see the level 1, they're like, oh, from 12 to 8. But that's level 1. Like, the thing is, you don't get your blue form when you're level 1. You get it when you're like level 9 or something. So, you're gonna miss out on a lot of your damage. And essentially what this is doing, this is killing the idea of purple Kayn. This is also killing the idea of Sork Boots on Kayn, because the whole thing about purple Kayn was that you didn't need to buy a lot of damage because your ult gave you so much damage alongside with your passive. Because you get your first passive, and then when you ult, it resets your passive, so you have 6 seconds of bonus magic damage. So just a lot of like heavily spread damage all around. Worked out really well. But yeah, essentially purple Kayn's gonna be dead. Good news is that Ross is still gonna be very good. I mean, Ross is still in a good spot, so that's nice. But purple's gonna be dead. Sork Boots on Kayn is gonna be dead. So that fun little magic damage build I had is gonna be gonzoed, sadly. I think honestly, just because of how much competitive gameplay Kayn has been seeing, that's why they're doing this. Purple Kayn in itself is very broken because, like I said, you can run it every game and just go whichever form you get first, but now you're not actually able to do that. You're gonna have to just build either straight blue or straight red, which is what I'm gonna show you right now since we're on the PBE. My runes are pretty much the same, except I'm running Relentless Hunter because we're gonna be going Yumu's. Serpent is no longer a core item, it's just a situational item. Yumu's is gonna be a core item, which is just, yeah, I mean, the numbers on it are really huge, so that's good. Okay, she's taking my blue. That's fine. I don't know why, but whatever. I think my team collapses on her there. That's good. The main thing about that is that if I get cheese like that, I just have to make sure that I'm actually able to get a invade back on her. So she has red, blue, doesn't have her own blue. Yeah, the whole premise of cheesing is really not too well thought out by Shyvana, because Shyvana's not a cheese jungler. She's an AFK farm jung. She AFK farms, gets advantage, and does well with securing objectives, but she's not actually going to have much of an advantage this game because she did that. Because the thing is, when you swap a vertical, it slows down both junglers in a way, but I'm not really slowed down because she doesn't have Raptors nor Krugs. She might get my Gromp, but nothing really. It's like, she's not really snowballing or doing anything too well for herself. It's a pretty free pickup kill, so that's pretty cool. It's really nice as a jungler to get that type of stuff. Alright, so we have 1 Relentless Hunter stack. That's really good. I think Akali's got that. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm gonna reset now. So I've been thinking maybe there'll be different items, but as of right now, I'm just gonna run Ingenious Hunter, or not Genius Hunter. I'm gonna run Prowlers without a Genius Hunter still, because I feel like lacking out on damage.
Kayn beat in early scuttle fights 1v1?
I don't know. Depends on who's playing, I guess. You don't really fight scuttle 1v1 ever. You play with prio. If you're mid or top, can't rotate. Don't fight 1v1. It's never a 1v1 at the scuttle. If it ever is a 1v1, then you and the enemy jungler are both playing really bad. You should always just play with prio. Plus, Kayn's not a 1v1 champ. You shouldn't be 1v1ing anyone until you have form. They didn't gank the cast in here, but might have flash is the issue. Okay, cool. Got him. I might be able to save Yumi, but she has to make sure that she doesn't W me until fresh use her play or whatever. Okay, I'm kind of just baiting for Ezreal here. I'm gonna go back in a second. Okay, so we just stalled long enough for Yoni. That's cool. Oof, he hit me with that E. But, I mean, Ezreal gets the kill here, so it's cool. I think. I don't know. Yeah, he does. Ooh. Alright, yeah, so the reason why I'm not super sold on which mythic to go yet is because with the lack of damage, you're going to need more damage. And the highest damage mythic for blue Kayn has always been Prowlers, just because the active. So if you know how to properly use your active, you should have a lot of damage. I don't think Gore Drinker is going to really be an option for blue Kayn anymore. I know some people have done numbers saying that it does a lot of damage, but there's no way statistically it does more than Prowlers. Prowlers has the mythic passive, not only that, but also the active. As for Gore Drinker, it just has the, I think 70% of your AD, so depends on your itemization as well. Now, another thing I'd like to add out is that if you're going to be going for a high mobility build with burst, it's also important that you get mana immune, because if you're going to be using your E a lot, you're going to need to be able to have a lot of mana on top of that. So typically I get my tier, my second reset, not my first. I think getting on your first reset's really grief unless you're really ahead. By the way, if I sound different or if I seem different right now, I'm just really sick. I've been sick for a while. I'm starting to feel a little bit better, so that's just why I might sound a bit different or seem a bit different. I'm not like I'm not anything too bad right now, just sick. Alright. So I think I'm gonna use my E. I'm gonna try and use my E again down bot. I got level 6 off the control ward, thankfully. They saw me there, but for some reason they just keep pushing. I mean, this is the PBE, so I don't really know what the ranks of these players are. I'm just trying to test out builds anyway. This is just something I could easily punish, though. Okay, cool. Wait from. You can always tell whenever they're gonna flash, especially as a Kayn player. And just get into that attitude where you're like, oh yeah, I know they're gonna flash here. Cool. Got the cannon. Can get a tower play here too. Okay, cool. You can get Crux. User exhaust. What the hell? She doesn't have any items. What? Is that troll or what? I don't think this guy continues to chase me, does he? Oh god, he does. What the hell? He just kept chasing and chasing. My bad, honestly. I didn't think he would do that. Should just reset. But honestly, you know what? Dying means that they're probably not going to FF as fast, and that's good. I prefer this game to go on longer so I can test out the build in entirety. That's the sucky thing, is that when you do a bunch of these games, people always FF. They're like, what? We're down. We must FF. This is unwinnable. I feel like this season alone, the FF button has been so abused that to the point that like every team, every game I have, I just consider it unwinnable the second I see an FF button. Alright, I'm gonna farm all my camps down. Alright, a little neat Kayn tactic for you boys. You can farm 2 camps at once there with the Red and the Raptors. It's fine to give her dragons. It's called False Hope. We're building up that mental gap. So I want to get my last 2 stacks. So Shyvana and Camille are the ones I gotta kill. Shyvana's ganking bot right now. I'll head on down myself. It's warded so they know I'm here, but that should be good. I'm gonna aim the Shyvana. Rush is coming, so it's best I just back off. Form 2 camps, and if they overstay bot, I'll just kill them both. Okay, so let's see our passive right now. 16% magic damage. Jesus, dude. That's so low. Let me see how. Let me see if I can actually 1v2 them. My damage is gonna be much more low. I don't think people realize how much your passive actually did for you. Okay. It's not that bad, I guess. it's not that bad. But I mean, I'm very ahead and they're very squishy and I hit everything on them. So also I had a Yuumi on me, so it makes sense that I killed him there. But I don't know. I think the thing is, and this isn't bad, this is something that's actually should be encouraged, is that Kayn isn't a champ that should necessarily be able to solo kill people early on. Like if I'm ever in a 1v1 and I'm winning, I think Kayn's a little bit broken. And that's the issue with blue Kayns. If you get your form early, you can pretty much solo anyone just because your passive and your ult does so much damage. Which, honestly, as long as they didn't nerf your ult damage, I think you're fine. Because a lot of people don't understand how much your ult does in damage. Alongside with the gap close that you get from it, you get a lot of mobility. Now, I know I don't have a Genius Hunter, so probably just kind of nerfed in the fact that I have to wait 90 seconds for it to work, but we should be cool here. Yeah, if my passive was the old one, I would have one-shot her immediately there. I would definitely not be going Conquer or doing like anything Blueser-ishy right now. Because like I said, the main reason Blueser worked or Purple Kayn worked was because you had so much excess damage. Built like a little bit funny, it didn't really matter. I don't think any Kayn mains ever thought that Blue Kayn was lacking in damage. So whichever build you went, like that's the whole thing behind it. You can go all these different builds. Alright, I kind of want to bait them here. Where do they come? Okay, so they're going the other way. Look, now I just chill behind my Krugs. You know what I must say that I'm very surprised by? Oh wait, Yumi's taking damage. I think I just killed my cat. My bad, Yuumi. Sorry. Sorry about that one, boss. Holy hell, he just got a triple kill. You know what the thing that I'm very surprised by is, okay, Serpents has been like a stronghold of every assassin's build for so long. Just due to the fact that there's so many shields in the game, yeah, sure. Makes a lot of sense. So, the thing is, shields are very OP due to the fact that there's so much excess healing. So to be able to have a shield enables you to get more healing off due to items like Gore Drinker. But hear me out here. Why would they nerf Serpents just to buff Yumu's, which is actually way better than Serpents, because high mobility on an assassin is just extremely snowbally. Like Serpents is good to stop people from becoming this like insanely 1v9 cannon, but Yumu's gets you so ahead because you could just have all the mobility in the world for pretty much any assassin, really. Like, just look at what Yumu's does for you now. So the same lethality, Serpents is now down 6 lethality, but the same lethality, -5 damage with 15 ability haste, and it costs 100 gold less. It still keeps the active and the passive in full effect, so it's like, what? That's what I don't get about the patch, is that they're gonna nerf Serpents, yeah. I think Serpents is really OP, I'm not gonna lie to you, I think it is. But now I just have like most movement speed in the world now. Like, thing is, this is gonna be the best build for Kayn, I'm sure of it. And this is exactly why I'm running Relentless Hunter, is because essentially how the game's gonna look like for Kayn every game is if you ever get ahead, you're just gonna run around one-shotting everything. Because the thing is, we're lacking in damage. Like I said, Kayn is going to play more off his team and looking for like team plays. And yeah, I could just like, okay, look, I go mid, look for plays with Ezreal, boom. Okay, now I go bot, look for plays with bot lane, boom. And this is exactly why you would go tier with this build. So Mana Immune actually is going to be like a core item here. Alright. Look how fast I am. I'm just running around the map like a fast maniac. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be asking me, is Moby's going to come back? You know, honestly, because Yumu's gives ability haste, Moby's might make a comeback. It might be making a comeback. I'm going to try that out, actually, and upload that video on my second channel with Moby's on top of that. So, just keep in mind, mobility is just going to be really, really broken. If they don't go through with the changes. See, the thing is, they have like a mini patch review, and then they have like the full patch preview. Whenever they have the full patch preview, it's pretty much the point of no return. The mini patch preview, like the PBE patch, is the one that they usually can move back on, but I'm pretty certain that they're going to go through with this. Essentially every game, you're just going to be playing as this like insane high mobility assassin one-shot machine. So your build's going to look like Yumu's, Manamune, Prowlers, probably Mobies. I don't know. I'll try out Mobies after. Because this only gives you 12 summoners, Spell of Haste. No, I mean, the 20 ability haste is cool and all, but it's not really that cracked, you know what I mean? You have so much ability haste, like how much do I have right now? 80? I have 80 ability haste, I don't really need more than 80. Once you're reaching past the like 40% threshold of CDR, you really don't need any more. But yeah, I mean, with this build, it's just gonna be like unstoppably snowbally. Like, the issue that people had with Kayn is now just gonna be even way worse because of Yumu's. Like, yeah, I'm lacking damage here, but the thing is because you're gonna have so much mobility to snowball so far ahead, you're just gonna have the damage to just murder everyone. You're lacking in damage, but you're picking it up. Just mobility, and mobility snowballs you, so. The last two items I'd probably say would be Grudge, and I'm gonna find out what the last item will be.